During a trip through time, the Legends were forced to land the Waverider in Blue Valley, Nebraska, where they discovered a young superhero.
Yes!
About to take flight.
That's cool.
Who are you?
I'm Stargirl.
Hello, Legendaires. Welcome back to Tomorrow's Legends. We are here trying to stay warm. It's chilly for the end of June. What gives? Good thing I can vibrate my molecules at high speed to warm up. I am the Flash.
And I'm the snowsuit wearing Harley Quinn.
Hello, Legends.
Gideon!
Yay.
She's back online. Oh, man, I thought, after the Waverider we had to touch down because we needed some maintenance. She's been offline for the last few weeks, and she's back with us. Is everything good, Gideon? Are you doing okay? Get yourself all fixed up?
Negative, Captain.
Oh, man. Well, what's going on?
If you haven't noticed, the ship is in desperate need of maintenance.
Yeah, well, we have noticed you've been gone for the last 3 weeks, so... Geez, well, we're glad you're back. It's gonna take you a little while to get yourself fully functional.
Yes, Captain.
Okay, well, you get working on that. We'll continue on with the show. It's good to have you back, Gideon.
Right away, Captain.
I have missed Gideon, our third co-host, I guess.
Yes, good to have her back. All right, well, let's get into this show.
And now, here are your hosts, the Scarlet Speedster himself, the Flash, and the Maid of Mischief, Harley Quinn.
So, news for this week. It's news to us. It's kind of exciting and fun. We actually have our first new Patreon supporter, which was a surprise to me. Yay! We need to have a big thanks to Patty Spivot, aka Lisa, for a $5 support. She chose the $5 tier, and I swear I did not ask her for anything at all. This was just complete shock to me that she did that. So I guess she's trying to get the ball rolling, and hopefully maybe some other people follow suit. So thank you so much, Patty. She's already got a t-shirt and everything, so we'll have to, like I said, we get a few more supporters in there. We will come up with some fun things to do, Harley?
Yes, absolutely. Yay, thank you. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. What does that mean? Is she paying to keep me away longer? Is that what it is? Yeah, you keep podcasting. Stay in the basement.
I guess that's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. So just like Patty Spivot did, it would be awesome if you guys came on and helped out the show. Just like I said, just for all the hard work and effort we're putting in, because especially this last week, me and Harley are putting our personal lives pretty much on hold for a week as we crash these next 6 episodes.
Yeah, we certainly are. I'm not sure how thrilled my family is about it, but I've promised it's only a week.
I was just going to say at the demise of our family counterparts not really enjoying us being on here all the time. We're spending more time with each other in the evenings than we are with them.
Yeah, we sure are.
So if you guys would like to join in on that, this is how you do it.
If you'd like to support our podcast, you can do so at our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/tomorrowslegends.
All right. Now, before we actually get to our ratings and review, last episode, X-Force 11, our dear friend who's been helping us out a lot behind the scenes, he actually sent in a voicemail for episode 2, and for some reason, whatever internet mishaps that happened, that the audio didn't play. For me, I got his feedback for 1, 2, and 3, and 1 and 3 played fine, and I forgot to ask him to resend it or re-record it. So he did turn around and send it, and we're going to play it right now because I had to do this last episode, but we still want to share his thoughts because he's been doing lots for us behind the scenes, including sending us some new graphics, new title images that I got to post one up on the Facebook page, change our cover picture and stuff too. It's really, really cool what he did for us.
Yeah, it's super cool. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, this is what his thoughts were on episode 2.
Hello, Legends. It's X-Force 11 going back to the Golden Age with Stargirl episode 2, Stripe. I thought this was interesting episode because even though Court was a bit more annoying in this episode, I liked the fact that we got some insight into the Injustice Society. It seems like this series is giving us more insight to the villains first before we build this next generation of heroes. And I'm digging what they're doing with the series. I like how Pat is trying to become relevant and trying to become a little more than a sidekick and not always succeeding at it and trying to be the good stepdad as well. So I appreciate those aspects of the story and can't wait to see what's next. All right, X-Force 11 is out.
Yeah, good.
Thanks.
I think we're with you on that. Yeah, exactly the same kind of thought. So I just want to make sure we got that in, and because I did miss it. So let's get into this week's ratings. You kick us off.
All right. I'm going to give this one 8.5 heartbreaking scenes because I feel like there may have been that many heartbreaking scenes.
Yeah, maybe.
There was a lot. This one was tough. Oh man, like not in like a bad way. Like it was good. It was well acted. It was tense. I found it intriguing and interesting. I mean, it kind of started with a tearjerker of a scene, and it really didn't let up the whole way through. So it was a good episode. No, yeah. It was shocking. But I'm excited overall, like once we kind of got through the end and like over the shock of some of the reveals along the way, I'm excited to see who Courtney's going to recruit to join her. I have a feeling I know a few that I am pretty sure she's going to ask. But yeah, so that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm a half point behind you. I'm giving this one an 8 chilling surprises. And I'm going to just say, wow, this show is pushing the boundaries after lulling us into thinking it's a decent homegrown family show. And I love it. There was a few frustrating moments, kind of like Jeff said, a few frustrating moments with Courtney in this one. But the villains more than made up for it, or I should rather say Icicle made up for it in leaps and chilling bounds. Wow, they casted the best villain I have seen in a long time. Pay attention, Flash. This is how you do bad guys. And I can't wait to talk more about them.
Yeah, we both kept our intros really short because I think we just want to dig in and just talk about everything.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and just start at the beginning. How about 8 years ago? When we get a little more insight, maybe, I'm going to put a question mark there, about Project New America. We learned that it seems as if it was underway while this conversation was happening, but he basically promises his dying wife, Jordan Mahkent / Icicle, promises his dying wife that he's going to fix the country for their son. He's going to make this new America, this better place for the children. So I thought that was interesting. I feel like there's definitely way more to this than maybe we have gotten in this episode, but it definitely laid some interesting groundwork, I think.
Yeah, and what I like about them going back in time is what makes part of making a great villain is giving them some backstory so we can understand where they came from, why they are the villain that they are, what's driving them to do what they're doing. And we got a decent flashback to what kind of kicked Icicle off, and it's fantastic. A good villain is only as good as the story that he gets, because every villain wants to dominate the world. Every villain wants to blow up a city, whatever. You need to have some good depth to the villains too, and I think we'll talk about it a lot more, but most villains, any good villain that is, doesn't always think they're villains. And we'll get into that a little more later, but this is what I like about Icicle, because it's his wife that actually makes him promise. He was just saying, he was all mad, I'm going to get revenge on everyone. And she's like, no, you hold true to your mission. You promise me that you're going to take care of our kid and you're going to make this country safe for him. And then she pulls him in close. And her last words are, she says to destroy anyone who gets in his way or tries to stop him. Like, whoa, that's her dying words. She's just as bad. And I like, okay, like how a guy who's already teetering on, being an ultimate nasty, to have your wife in her last breath tell you something like that. I mean, how it's fantastic. That is one of the best villain motivations I have seen in a long time. And it just blew me away. And then with this guy playing Jordan, you said the actor's name last episode. I can't remember.
Oh, I did. I sure did. You keep going while I look it up.
Well, anyway, this actor, he is giving me just his look and the way he's portraying himself. He's giving me a real Rutger Hauer / Dolph Lundgren vibes. I don't know if you guys know. Everyone knows who Dolph Lundgren is, but I don't know how many people know who Rutger Hauer is. If you guys watched the original Blade Runner movie, he was the main bad guy.
Yes.
The android.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cross him with Dolph Lundgren, and this is the vibe I'm getting from this guy.
Totally. I'm looking at his picture. His name is Neil Jackson. Totally.
Yeah.
I totally see that.
So yeah, there we go. So maybe we'll post a couple of those pictures on the Facebook page then of the two of them, and people will see what I mean.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, it absolutely does. That's hilarious.
If they had a love child, and from their villainous roles, there you go.
Love it. Oh my gosh. Yes, I so agree with that. Okay, yeah, let's post a couple of pictures between the two of us. Maybe one of us will remember to do it.
I'm writing a note now.
Okay, good. Good news. Good news. All right. Well, I'm tracking the creepy janitor. Everybody's kept telling me that we need to track him. I've got a theory, but I'm afraid to say it. So I'm not. I think I might just keep this one to myself because I don't know. I don't feel like I want to voice who I think it might be. But just know that we're tracking him. I saw him in the beginning. He definitely stares at Courtney and like stares her down. So I really want to know who he is. I have a sneaking suspicion, but I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Well, I don't want to voice it out loud.
You'll have to tell me off air because I haven't gotten any clue as to who he might be at all. I just there's
I
something
don't
about
have any
him, though.
like spoilers or anything. I mean, it's just me like. Just my brain like doing weird things. I'm like, okay, like, who could this possibly? Okay, do you want me to just say it? I keep dancing around it. You want me to say who I think he might be?
It's up to you, if you want to see if you're right.
Starman.
Really?
I don't know. I have no idea
Wow.
how. I have no idea. I'm probably wrong. That's why I didn't want to say it. But it's cool. So we'll just
Okay.
But he's definitely someone. They're going out of their way to feature him. He's tracking with Courtney, and he's looking like he knew exactly what that caused. So if it's not Starman, who would, to be fair, we clearly saw die. So that would be pretty crazy. He's got to be an original member of the JSA. This is what I'm thinking.
So you're not thinking villain at all then?
I'm not thinking villain at all. Not now. I was in the beginning because they featured him along when they were featuring all of the other villains originally. Now I'm thinking not villain at all.
Okay, well, that tracks with my thought here. So I'm going to answer your point here.
Okay.
Because I didn't realize that this sign was at the school. For some reason, I didn't get a clear vision of the school. I thought it was like a hospital parking lot or something when they had that big fight. I had no idea it was the school, so that was kind of a little bit of a fun surprise. But he is definitely creepy, and they're leading us to feel creepy about him or whatever. And it's funny you think he's a hero on the good side, because I was just thinking that I bet it's a setup. They're making us distrust him. They're making us wonder about him and thinking, who is that guy? He's a villain that's keeping track of her. But I bet you my thought was that it could be a sidekick for one of the other heroes. It's another sidekick.
Oh, that's a good thought too. We'll just have to see. I think based on some cryptic messages from Jeff and Bianca, I think it's coming this next episode that we're about to watch. I'm trying not to watch too far ahead, before us recording, so that I don't spoil
confuse
our speculation or confuse the episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, like I did on the first two. I let it slip a little bit. So
yeah, but it wasn't anything major, so it's fine. I just sounded more like an idiot since you actually knew what happened. But it's okay.
Now, speaking of strange, since he's creepy, this girl, Beth, she is a strange one. She's walking through school with those water chime bowls and just singing a chant or whatever. I mean, talk about ultimate weird kid. No wonder she doesn't have any friends. She seems super cool, and I want to know her more. But if you put yourself in that high situation, that to me is like one of the weird kids. And in those days, people would be like, whoa, woo, kind of crazy girl.
Yeah, she's definitely one that marches to the beat of her own drum. That is for sure. At least to her credit, I think it was talent show day, right? So that's why she had the water chime things. But
oh, that's right. I forgot about the talent show. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, so it makes it slightly less strange, but only slightly.
Still.
Oh dear.
She's an oddball. Yep.
Yeah, so I think hopefully her and Courtney become better friends. It looks like Courtney's kind of doing her best to make friends. And it's interesting to me as we're now starting to see just how interconnected everybody is, both villains and heroes. And just it is so small town. So now that they're like drawing all these lines and you can kind of see like who's aligned with who. So like Courtney she's kind of made friends with Beth. Beth's the only one who would talk to her when she sat down at the lunch table the first couple of days. And then Joey was nice to her. Sad face. Ugh, so gut-wrenching. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. And
Too
then
soon.
I know, too
Don't get there yet.
real. Oh my gosh, in so many ways. Anyway, and then Cameron, who seems to be like her new friend that she ends up making in class. And we'll talk more about him as well. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Joey being Wizard's son, what I liked about him is that he was just such a nice kid. There was no way that he can be a bad guy's kid, or at least he's not going to be like his dad. And it seemed like his dad, we keep talking that I think his dad was trying to turn a new leaf. He was trying to not be the villain anymore.
Yeah.
And at this point in the episode, when we saw Joey, I was thinking to myself, this is going to be one of the kids that defies their family and joins the good side.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I got.
I did originally too. There's even a line somewhere of him saying, "Oh, I feel my power growing stronger. I feel more powerful."
Yeah.
Like something like that. What, didn't he say that?
Yeah, he had a weird line like that. And you're like, ooh, something's awakening in him. Yeah.
Yeah, it got me all excited.
I know. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this William Zarick, I mean, he was an odd one. I mean, he was very clearly decently powerful, although Jordan makes it clear that he never really understood the full extent of his powers, which I think is interesting. He alludes to the fact that he killed his master before learning everything about his powers. Like, he's way more powerful than he even like knew. He just didn't know how to harness it. So I thought that was a very interesting comment, and then immediately wanted me to see more. I wanted to see what this guy could do.
I know. And then, yeah. And it's interesting that he says killed his master. I'm like, master? What is this, like Star Wars? There's always two, master and apprentice. So who's the master? I think I'm going to have to do some research off air here and look up the wizard. And is this following his storyline? Did he actually kill his master? Who was his master? I want to see if there's anything about that. I also want to look up Brainwave's powers so we know and understand what it is all that Brainwave can do. And then Icicle. Like, I don't know these guys. I never read Justice Society of America. These are very old Golden Age characters, so I don't know anything about them. So I should probably do a little bit of research on these guys and just see how well it's tracking with the show and how much the show is improving them, because you know, if you know characters from back in the day, they were really, really cheesy and kind of corny. So they're obviously have improved them for modern day TV.
Yes, they were very on the nose, and I've even loved the fact that throughout the first few episodes they've been caught, or maybe even this one too. And now they're all starting to run together. But I like that they're making fun of that, and that like Courtney's like, "Wow, you guys really weren't good with names."
I know. Yeah.
I love that about it. But okay, so this next point I have, I literally wrote down a quote from Pat because I was like, this literally made no sense to me at first. He's going into the hospital because he's trying to check on Brainwave, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with him. Is he waking up? You know, what did he tell Jordan? All these types of things. And so he goes in and he's chatting with Beth's mom, of course, and asking, you know, like normal questions. And all of a sudden he's like, well, what did he have on when they brought him in? And she's like, his lab coat. He's like, oh right, yeah, of course they found. And she's like, they found him in the parking lot. And it was just like smooth, real smooth. Like, what?
Not smooth at all. Not sneaky way to find out info. I mean, if anything, the doctor's going to be suspicious.
Oh yeah,
because we don't know where she stands yet. I was saying last episode, there's something about her and something about her husband. There's something off with them. So now she's suspicious of Pat, which is just a goofball move by him. Like, you lead into the question somehow. It just came out of nowhere. It was, yeah.
Exactly. That's why I called it out. I was like, what? He has to work on his investigative skills.
Bumbling sidekick is what he still is, yeah.
A little bit.
No Robin.
You would think he had sort of matured over the years. I don't know. Maybe he'll improve his skills. But his comment does actually make more sense in the next scene. So I was actually under the impression that him and Courtney took Brainwave to the hospital. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought that they were the ones who kind of dropped him in the parking lot. So I was like, why is he asking, what happened to the costume? Why is he asking what he was wearing? But what we find out is that it was Zarick who actually cleaned up that whole mess. So Pat and Courtney just left him where he was, which was at school. And then Zarick must have either followed him or been keeping an eye out or whatever. And he's the one who got rid of the costume and took him to the hospital. So I was like, okay, it makes more sense.
That's my question. How did Zarick even know he was there? Because if he was following or was keeping, you think he would have shown up to help in the fight. But
unless he didn't want to get involved and he just kind of wanted Brainwave to hang himself, if you will. But
yeah,
maybe
I guess.
I thought he had told him for some reason, but I can't be 100% sure that he had told him about the deal, but maybe he didn't. I don't know. That would be the only way. He either had to have been following him, or maybe Brainwave had to tell him about it, or maybe, he heard something and was like, oh, I better go clean this up or something. I don't know. But it was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, at least we got that mystery answered real quick, though, as to how Brainwave was found in his lab coat, because when she described it, I'm like, what? What do you mean he was in his lab coat? He wasn't fighting in his lab coat, but that everything kind of came full circle and it made sense. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it seems like such an odd comment. I feel like those scenes should have been flipped, but maybe not. I don't know.
All right, I got to throw this in here. I didn't know where to throw it in our notes, but I have to say it. I do not like Pat's kid, Mike, at all. This kid needs a slap across the head so fast to knock him straight. I can't stand his attitude, the talking back and the disobedience. It's too many kids are like that these days, and it drives me crazy. I can't stand the way kids are able to behave these days because of all these stupid, parenting restrictions now. It drives me crazy. And this kid, I need to smack him upside the head. Seriously.
He's a little much. Yeah, I would. I
want to use some curse words on him. That's what I want to use.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't tolerate the attitude out of my own kid. But yeah,
Me
I don't
neither.
know. I'm guessing maybe his dad feels slightly guilty. I mean, it's just him and Mike for whatever reason. We don't know what happened to his former wife. Was it divorced? Is he a widower? What's the story there? Like, where's the mother? Like, we assuming since he up and moved his kid across the country that she's out of the picture. Maybe she passed away when he was young or something. I don't know the story behind that, but yeah, no, I agree with you. He's definitely a little snot. He can be really funny though. He can. I do like.
Oh
his
yeah,
humor.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't found him funny at all. He's just annoying me every time he opens his mouth. I really hope he doesn't get any major parts of this show. But I had to laugh though at when Pat comes home and gives him heck for eating nothing but chips for dinner, and they have a little argument, and then he throws him a $20 just go get whatever you want, and the kid goes and buys more chips. I'm like, that you just gave him heck for eating chips, and now you're giving him money to go to the 7-Eleven or whatever and just buy more junk for his dinner. Like, that didn't really work. That was failed parenting right there.
Oh yeah, that was definitely get out of the house now. I don't care, so that I can deal with Courtney.
Yeah.
What do I care about more? The kid that's gonna eat a whole bunch of junk food, or the kid that's about to kill herself going after a villain by herself? Supervillain by herself. So yeah, that's not an easy parenting day for poor Pat there.
No.
Oh dear. Okay. So next thing, we got so much good backstory on Icicle / Jordan. So we learn a little bit about what he was traveling around doing. He says that he was tracking down all the people responsible for killing his wife. This is like the quote, like behind closed doors thing. And I I think this is all under the guise of spreading the new America, because later he gives this whole big speech, with Barbara and all the people being there. And, he's talking about, going and saving every small town in America. And so I think that's really interesting, of the motivation, because it ties back to the beginning where we see everything is interconnected with his wife. She very clearly died of cancer. He talks about like toxins or something along those lines. So in some way, shape, or form, she came in contact with that, and I assume got cancer, and that's what killed her. And then he's created this whole new America project, and I guess under that guise, he's now able to travel around. Or are these two things separate? Is he, got one agenda for killing all the people and then other agenda to spread Project New America? What did you think about all of that?
I think he is using the New America Project as a front to do his nefarious work behind.
That's what I'm leaning towards too. Okay.
So they're kind of working together. It's like we were talking about last episode. I think the New America is their way of being having their people in all the power positions so they can control society the way they want to. Uh-huh. Yeah. And while they're doing that, they're also doing all their evil stuff behind that front. It's like someone having a laundromat, and yet they're, filtering mobsters' money in the background kind of thing.
Money. yeah, very on the nose.
See? But that's what I mean. That's what I think this whole situation is. But this is where I want to gush about Icicle, because, man, this guy is amazing. What a villain. He's so sinister. He has no morals, no concerns for anyone but his revenge and his family. And like I was alluding to, as any great bad guy, he doesn't think he is the bad guy. He's making the country better and safer the way he thinks it should be. And that's what makes such a great villain. And he also plays the nice guy really well, and he's fooling everybody. Look at when he's in his town meeting and when he's dealing with Barbara. He is so friendly and so convincingly friendly that everyone's just buying, like, who is this guy? Wow, he's amazing. And he's going to get people to follow him because of that. Now, this is a bad guy, and we have not had a TV villain on a superhero show like this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a fan of all the shows, and even after podcasting about Arrow on Arrow Squad, we have not had a bad guy like this since season 1 Flash, when we had Eobard Thawne. He was the best villain I think we've had on any of the DC shows, and this guy is suddenly standing on the exact same perch. Yeah. And he's the best part of this episode by far, and I believe if he's going to stick around and be the main bad guy for Stargirl, and I hope he is, we will have, like I said, on par with Eobard, the best villain we've ever had. He's amazing. 3 episodes in, this guy's just blowing me away.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's excellent. I think the writing is well done. The acting is well done. Just all of it. I've really enjoyed everything that he's doing with it. Yeah, he can turn on the charm and be super charming, and then he flips that switch, and oh man, he's good. I like him.
Yeah, absolutely fascinating. And here's the other thing, because I mentioned this last episode too. Barbara is being won over by his evil good charm. Mm-hmm. Like I guessed, I theorized that she was, and I think it's coming true. She's going to end up working for him unknowingly, part of his, New America plan. And she's going to be so proud and so happy and think he's doing such good work, but it's helping him do the dark stuff behind the scenes, and she's not going to know about it. And then she's going to defend him when the good in him is challenged by Pat and Courtney. It's going to cause a rift of some kind. I can see it coming. Yeah, no, I am totally with you. I definitely think that's going to be the case, because I was trying to figure out, I was like, okay, how's Barbara going to play into all of this? And yeah, she's definitely, she's drank that Kool-Aid. She has drank that Kool-Aid. So she is all in on Project New America under the, quote, American dream. And she ate the special brownies. Yep, she's going head in. Yeah, she's got all sorts of stuff going on there. Oh dear. All right. Well, speaking of Icicle, there's no better way to segue into this. So he sends a message, a very, very clear message, a giant ice star in a field in the middle of summer. Or I guess it's not summer, but warm weather. And there's a giant ice star in a field that very clearly shouldn't be there. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, there he is. Yeah, no use beating around the bush. I mean, like most other superhero shows with all the grandstanding and propaganda and, massive villain speeches that we get or whatever, this guy just gets right to it. I know you're out there. He doesn't know it's I don't think at this point he knows it's a girl yet.
I can't remember.
He just knows that someone with the Starman staff is here.
Yeah. But Zarick may have told him in the beginning. I don't remember, though.
There was a girl? Okay. Either way, there's a star person here, and he's just like, you know what? I know you're here. I'm after you. This is my message, so come find me or come get me or whatever. Let's do this. And I love it. I love that he just gets right to it. No grandstanding. It's awesome.
It was very, just like everything else in this quote era of comics, very on the nose. No beating around the bush, as you said. So I like it.
Now, you mentioned Cameron earlier, so I wanted to bring him up here again because Cameron's at school there, and we've seen him and Courtney exchange a few glances over the last couple episodes, and now she's sitting behind him in class, and there's a bit of a flirt game kind of happening between the two of them. I mean, at least she starts it by being all friendly and saying, I'm Courtney, and he kind of looks over his shoulder and smiles at her, whatever. At this point in the episode, at this point in the storyline, can we trust him? Or is he creepy? What's your feeling at that point in the classroom?
I trust him. Yeah. I trust him because we saw the flowers that he was drawing in the book, and when she starts talking to him, it was because she noticed that he's drawing in the same way that Yolanda, the girl, that everybody keeps calling a slut, he covered up the message on her locker by painting it with like pretty flowers. And so she was like, oh, it was you, I trust him. I think he's a bit of an innocent in all of this. Although it'll be interesting to see if at the end of the day he knows his dad's alter ego, if you will.
Yeah, put a pin in that. We'll come back to that thought later on in our notes talking about him again. So I just wanted to ask you at this point, because we're kind of going chronological, what you felt about him in the classroom. And I felt okay with him. He's one of the cute guys, and I think he's very quiet and kind of keeps to himself. But I got the feeling that he's friendly and can be trusted. And it's because of what you said. I was glad you brought it up, because of the flowers. Like, okay, a villain would not do that. So
yeah, and I think in the beginning when we first see him, when Joey comes up to Courtney, he's kind of watching Courtney. He's like, okay, what kind of a girl are you? Like, how are you going to play this? Are you going to be nice to the poor kid and boost him up, or are you going to tear him down so that everybody makes fun of him? What is your decision? Like, what are you going to do? And so I definitely felt like that was sort of a test in his mind to see what kind of person Courtney was. And, of course, she does the right thing. And I think he appreciated that.
Yeah.
So I think he really was, we can talk about it at the end, but I think he really was devastated by Joey's death. So.
Yeah. I think so.
All right. So Barbara actually made it home in time for dinner after she gets asked to join this super secret amazing meeting to revitalize the theater or something. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
And so I found that quite amusing that she's like rushing in, rushing home. She's like, I'm here for family dinner. And no one's there.
No one's there. So she could have stayed for the meeting.
Yeah. So Mike's which she clearly does the one that comes around. I don't know if it's the next day or the day after, but she clearly ends up staying because there's a family dinner minus Barbara happening. But to be fair, she, busts her butt to make it home in time for dinner. Pat and Courtney are just off, chasing after Icicle, which obviously she doesn't know, but she doesn't know where they are, they're not there. Mike's eating Cheetos, so it's just, I kind of felt a little bad for her.
And the dog was eating Cheetos too.
Oh God, that poor dog would have been so sick. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Now the thing with Barbara though, like her and the mayor she's going to have a problem there. Because she made the mayor look bad in front of the entire council and in front of Icicle. Because the mayor was like, we've already rezoned the theater to be this convenience store or whatever the heck it was, and she's like, but, and he's like, and Icicle's just like, no, wait a sec, let's hear her out, and then he chooses her idea over his and shuts him up, makes him look a fool in front of everybody, and you could see how upset he was about that. She's gonna have some trouble Well, maybe she won't, because maybe Icicle will defend her and stand in for her. But if he's ever not there, I can see her having some trouble with Mr. Mayor there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No big deal. But he's a man in high position anyway. So
He's got a lot of power. I mean, he's very influential. He's at least second in command because he was running the show while Jordan was gone. So he's got to be relatively high up in that company, aside from being a member of the Injustice Society.
yeah, very true. All right, let's go on to Stripe a little bit.
All right. All right. So, as I said before, Pat and Courtney have gone off chasing after Icicle. As a random aside, they should really use their code names instead of screaming, Pat, Courtney, Pat, are you okay? Courtney, get back here. I'm like, y'all, people can hear you, probably. So, might want to just err on the side of caution there. But, anyways.
Yeah, maybe a bit. Eh?
Yeah. So this whole battle, he gets frozen up. Stargirl goes after Icicle, and then at the last minute, he ends up using his fist to rescue her, and which caused a whole series of unfortunate events after that. But the fist actually working and coming to the rescue was pretty sweet. I enjoyed that.
It was, yeah. And I like how the fist kind of came out of nowhere. That's how I see it working if they don't see him coming, and that thing hits pretty hard. So it was good. But again, the suit still is just not good enough. Because if you look at when they're out in the forest there and they're looking for Icicle, all Icicle did was shoot a couple ice shards into his knee and he's taken out of the fight. I mean, that suit needs some serious improvement. It started freezing up, but really, the 2 icicles to the knee and that was it. He was done. So the suit needs some major improvement. But that's my complaint. But now then I'm looking at the story of it. And maybe that's what Pat's story is going forward. It's him going from the useless sidekick that he's kind of always been all the way since his days working with Starman to actually maybe being someone Courtney can count on, especially in a fight, because she's the kid and he does need to stand up and protect her because she's learning and she's not even close to as strong as any of the original JSA members were. So that this could be Pat's story, that he is going to grow and improve that suit and be someone that she can rely on to protect her, which I think could be a good story for Pat. But and I think they're doing that because slowly, little by little, the suit is getting better each time. But again, this episode just showed us that he's useless in a fight unless he gets them by surprise when they don't see him coming, which 20-foot tall robot, that's not going to happen very often.
That's true. That's very true. But no, I agree. So it'll be nice to see him kind of continuing to improve it, hopefully. Maybe make it a little bit more agile, a little less clunky. I mean, I like that it's clunky right now just because it's true to the, hey, I just made this out of car parts. It can't be all that smooth and polished. But yeah, no. Maybe.
Although it had a new paint job this episode, it looked like he cleaned it up and buffed it up a bit. So
it did. Yeah. It looked a little different. So hopefully, like you said, he'll just keep making the small improvements.
Well, like any superhero, I guess you could think of it he keeps getting attacked by these different things and he's realizing where the weaknesses are. So is he smart enough to, improve the suit to stand against these different, things that right now he's weak against?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Cool.
All right. It's time to talk about the icicle in the room.
Yes, it's chilly.
I know. The official death of Joey. I did not see this coming, not in a million years. One, I never expected them to actually kill a kid. I mean, it's an older kid, 15, 16, but still.
Still a kid.
That is still a kid. That's not something you usually see. So I was like, oh, wow. And you saw the whole setup. It was definitely done in cold blood. I mean, Icicle straight up murdered the kid to get back at Zarick. Wizard, whatever his name is.
Yeah, holy crap. They killed a kid on a family superhero show. We have not seen this on, and just again, here we are thinking we have this nice small hometown family show and they're doing stuff like this. That's what I meant in my opening segment. Yeah. They killed a kid and they killed him with a high-speed car that couldn't stop on the ice. Not a nice death in front of all the other students. It was not a good scene at all. And, at that point, I'm like, why is Icicle doing that? Is he sending a message to Wizard that he better fall in line? Or is he trying to get the Wizard so mad that he gets suited up again and joins the fight? I don't know what he was trying to get at there, because all Wizard ended up doing was coming to his house pissed off at him, and he ends up killing him as well anyway. Yeah. So at this point in time, I like, okay, he's trying to send a message, but why? Why is he killing the guy's kid? It's crazy. It's just crazy to me. And again, it just shows you how wickedly evil that Icicle truly is, because I actually really liked Joey. I thought he was I did not see this coming at all. It was such a shock. Lisa's kid was crying, and I thought he was going to be such a good friend to Courtney. I thought the two of them were going to strike up a really strong friendship, and I was like, oh, great, I like this kid. He's way too sweet, way too innocent, just wants to be a magician. Him and Courtney are going to be becoming like the best of friends. And then they wipe him out. Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking.
It was very shocking. It was definitely completely unexpected. I was trying to figure out, like, in the scene as Icicle is doing stuff, I'm like, what is he doing? Then I was like, oh no. And then it actually happened. And I was like, I was kind of surprised. I was kind of surprised by that. It was very devastating. I think it was a very emotional scene, especially, as it follows with all the scenes with the wife and with the senator and all of that. That was just completely crazy. But to go back to your question, why did Icicle do it? I mean, he alludes to it in the beginning of the episode. He confronts Zarick on his front porch, and he's like, nothing is more important to me than Project New America, about ensuring the future for our children. And he's like, I trust you feel the same. And Zarick's answer is, nothing is more important than my son or my family, one of the two, probably just the son. And so that wasn't Jordan's project. His project wasn't number one. So I think that was the motivation. It was definitely to send a message. It was clearly sent. Wizard figured it out. He confronts him. And then, Jordan kills him because I think he's too weak. I don't know. Maybe it was twofold. It was definitely to send a message. It was definitely to be like, oh, your boy is more important, the most important thing. Well, your boy's gone, so now my project is the most important thing. But then also maybe it was trying to like bring out that spark to get him to be that more powerful thing. But then when he stops the wand with the ice and he quickly overpowers him, he gets that answer as well.
Yeah, that was actually a really cool move when he just grabs the tip of the wand and just sends ice right through it, and the guy immediately goes, ah, because his throat is frozen. Like, whoa. Now, I had said in my opening that Courtney was a little bit frustrating this episode, and there was a few scenes early on, too, where she's just being too excited, not listening, and always jumping ahead, and I'm like, oh, okay, settle in for a second. Just listen for once. Like Pat was saying, just listen to me. But this scene is what kind of drove me nuts about her. This entire sequence, the school bus is in trouble. It's full of kids. The guys are coming to attack. Everything's happening. And she's standing there for the entire scene watching, not doing anything. Meanwhile, poor Pat's flying around in a suit trying to help. Why didn't she jump into the action? She wants to be a superhero so bad. She's constantly arguing with Pat. Let's do something. And she just stands there for the entire thing and doesn't help at all. I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, I think part of it is just to show that she's 15. 2, she's green. She doesn't know what to do in these situations. So she has to learn and
do something. Go get in there and learn on the fly. Like, you just watched your friend die because you did nothing. She could have flown in there and grabbed him and taken off. The staff lets her fly. Mm-hmm. So
there were definitely things she could have done. That is for sure. I think, it was to maybe teach her a lesson as well. Learn, you gotta learn the hard way.
Yeah, I guess. A little frustrating, but anyway.
Yeah. No, I think it was meant to be, for sure. It was, and I think it was meant to be, which is, yeah. So, all right, the next few scenes, are kind of heartbreaking. But basically in the aftermath of his death, Pat decides to take Courtney over to the JSA headquarters, which was pretty cool. But they definitely had to fly there. So surely that's not in Blue Valley too. Do you have any idea where they went or any thoughts on where they went?
My only guess is they went all the way back to LA. I think, because I now you got me thinking about that opening episode with the fight in the house. Maybe that was the JSA's headquarters house or something that they were fighting in.
Maybe.
And so I'm wondering if that they went back there, and maybe Pat fixed it up or used the money that the JSA has or whatever and got all fixed up, and now it's just a museum. So that was my guess. It was cool to see, though. I mean, we never really get to see a headquarters like that. We have all the bunkers and the, Star Labs and the Aero Cave, but to actually have a nice headquarters like that where it seems like they're a legit government operation, that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about that, because this was a pretty big scene. They're basically showing all the posters hanging, or the banners hanging with all the different characters and stuff. And I wanted to go through a few of them that were there. Now, we did see the Flash. They even talked about the Flash. Did it look like our Jay Garrick to you? You didn't get to see a really good view of it, but did it look like our Jay Garrick? Could that have been John Wesley Shipp's face?
Without freezing the frame, I couldn't say for sure. It did not immediately jump out to me. I clearly understood that was supposed to be a Jay Garrick, but I don't think it was ours. Quote unquote.
Even just the likeness, to me it looked like him as it panned by. I was like, that actually looks like John Wesley Shipp from the side. So I'm just wondering, because the way I get it is just that no matter what Earth it is, that's what Jay Garrick looks like, is John Wesley Shipp. So that's
a good point. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with that in this new Earth too. So
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
could have been a younger version of him. Now for the other pictures, I want to ask you who we all did see. The guys that I caught was obviously Starman. Mm-hmm. Then there was some guy in a suit. He had a red bow tie. I have no idea who that's supposed to be. Do you have any idea?
Nope. I think that was the guy with the pink pen.
I don't understand what the pink pen is. That's the Thunderbolt. Don't touch that. It's the most powerful thing. I don't know. I don't know the reference. So hopefully one of our feedbackers can let us know, because I couldn't connect what that was. Yeah. Then we saw Dr. Fate. Mm-hmm. And Wildcat and Hourman and Green Lantern and Dr. Midnight.
Yeah.
So that seemed like all of them. I don't know if there's more. So it's kind of funny, and no female characters in there.
Well, wait, Hawkman and Hawkgirl were supposed to be there at one point or another, but they probably...
at least in what we saw when they went around, that we didn't see any posters for them.
Yeah, so maybe it was just the ones where he was able to keep or recover the artifacts, their tools of the trade. Yeah,
maybe. So, and then back to the pink pen. When she grabs it, did the pen giggle at her, or was that the staff giggling?
I'm pretty sure it's the pen.
So this is what we need someone to tell us what this pink pen is, because I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could research it, but I don't know whose pink pen that is, or what it means, or anything, and what its power is.
I don't either, but it made me laugh, and yes, it absolutely giggled at her.
And that calls back to Bianca's, one of her first feedbacks to us. She said something about the pink pen, and it was right over our heads because we had no idea what she was referring to, but she said something about the pink pen in her feedback. So,
oh yeah, I missed that completely. Cool. Missed that.
So here's something that I do disagree with: is Dr. Fate was up there on the wall, and he was also one of the ones that died. I can't abide by that, because he is one of DC's most powerful characters ever. There's no way that he goes down in a simple fight with the Injustice Society. How he could be killed by these guys, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Dr. Fate lives on by passing the helmet on to someone else, whatever, but he is one of the most powerful characters in their comics. So I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that he's dead too. But
maybe anyway. He's the janitor.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Maybe.
That would be cool. If you guys don't know about Dr. Fate, maybe the next episode I'll pull up a bit of information about him, or just, research on your own. But yeah, he's quite something special. That owl, oh my God, that owl was cute.
It was very cute.
I love birds. I love owls. I don't know what species of owl that was. I want to kind of look up that, because it had such a beautiful face on. I wanted to snuggle that owl.
Yes, it was very cool. Although I think in real life, owls are actually kind of vicious. But yeah, they are very, very cute. I like owls as well. Very, very cool. I can't believe, I'm just going to say this little piece now. She ends up shoving that in her bag too. Like she's got this giant bag of all these artifacts. Well, that's what I'm saying. I was like, did she shove the owl in there? Like, how does that even work?
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know because the owl was kind of getting excited when she was grabbing everything, and she was like, I'm sorry, whatever. I don't know if she actually grabbed it or if she told it to get out of there or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I'll throw in here too, because in Patty Spivet's feedback that she sent us, along with the message, she asked, she had questions about the owl. She goes, has the owl just been sitting there for 20 years? Who takes care of it? Who feeds it? Is it able to get in and out? I'm assuming there's probably a sunroof or a sunlight or something. Skylight is what I'm trying to say. Something's got to be in there for the owl to come and go as it pleases. And that's its home base, its home perch. It probably just comes back every night because that's where it spends its nights. But I'm sure it can come and go as it needs to.
Sure, we'll go with that. Either that or it's a magical owl and it doesn't need anything.
Maybe, I guess. I mean, it's kind of sad that it's been sitting there for 10 years, but I'm sad. I'm sure it comes and goes as it needs to. Unless, well, no, Pat, that's a long way for Pat to go to take care of it. So who knows? I mean,
yeah,
the place looked pretty run down and a little bit dusty. So maybe someone is in there. I don't know.
I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's either a magical owl or it's got a way to kind of come and go. So, but yeah, very cute. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see it again.
Yeah, maybe we'll see it again. I got kind of fired up by these scenes at the end of the JSA. Like, I mean, I'm kind of with Courtney. I'm like, yeah, let's find some new people. Let's recruit some friends. Let's let the weapons choose who the people are. Start a new JSA. I think that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's her teenage inexperience where she thinks she can just build a team and be anything like the original GSA. So I'm kind of laughing at that. Oh my God, she's this teenage arrogance. She just doesn't get it, because it's kind of a how the hell does she think a bunch of teenagers can beat a team that killed a fully trained adult superhero team? How does she think anyone her age is going to be able to do that? So that's kind of like, okay, let's see what they do with this. It's that whole teenagers can do anything and they're better than everyone attitude. She's totally displaying that. But what I think is kind of fun, so after that initial knee-jerk reaction to that, what I think is fun is this is no longer, to me, feeling like a new JSA. This is now becoming a homegrown Young Justice in actuality. Never mind the GSA, she is building a team of Young Justice. We are getting Young Justice in live action, which is actually a really cool, fun idea. And I wonder if that's what the writers and producers have in the back of their minds that maybe they're trying to build here. Because that's what Young Justice is all about. If you ever watched that cartoon, it's the best DC animated cartoon series of all time.
I've never seen it, but I have heard very, very good things about it. So.
That's one you've got to watch. It is so good. And it's all about the sidekicks and them trying to learn and get better and get the experience so they can join the full Justice League and become real members. And so that's the feeling I'm getting here.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think that would be really cool. Like either reboot the JSA, but either way, there's going to be like a big learning curve, whether they're going with like a Young Justice feel or like truly going with like rebooting the JSA. I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's fun. Like I want to see that. I love origin stories, so I think this is amazing. Like I'm all on board for this. Let's get it going. Let's kick it off. Let's start something new. So I think it's cool.
Well, the thing is if what I'm wondering here, what they're trying to set up, she's going to build a team of teenage superheroes. Are they going to go fight the adults like Icicle and these guys, or are because we're witnessing that all the villains have kids too? Are their kids going to power up and suit up, and it's going to be teenage versus teenage teams? That's what I'm wondering where they're going here.
Oh, I don't know. At this point, I'm really not sure. I mean, they could, except like Henry very clearly doesn't have any powers, Brainwave's son. So, and Cameron, I mean, why don't we just dig into this a little bit? Yes, he's Icicle's son, but I feel like he is the complete, opposite of his father. I think he really is, like an actual, like good person, more of an innocent person, as opposed to his dad, who very obviously is not.
Yeah, and that to me was, an even bigger shock than, well, about on par with killing Joey. I was like, what? Cameron is Icicle's son? I did not see that coming at all.
I didn't either.
And I think with our discussion, because I keep asking, do we trust Cameron now? Now that we know it's like Icicle's son, do we know? Because the questions are, does he know he's part of a twisted family? Does he know his dad is Icicle? Because the whole family is in on it. Icicle's parents are in on it. They want him to rule the world. That, to me, was another surprising scene.
Oh, yeah.
When after Icicle kills William there, a.k.a. Wizard, his parents just walk in and he's like, oh, I'm sorry I had to see that. And they're like, no problem. We'll clean it up. You've got work to do. Like, you've got to finish your mission. And off they like, it's crazy to me. Icicle's in it. His parents are in it. And does Cameron know? This is what I'm wondering. Does Cameron know who his dad is?
I think no at this point.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on no. Cameron is going to be Team Courtney. Or Team Stargirl. So.
I think so. Now, let me ask you, what language do you think Icicle, what's his background? It's not German. It sounds similar to German, but also has a Russian twinge to us. I'm thinking Czech Republic maybe, or something like that. Do you have an idea?
I was thinking Swedish or Icelandic. That's what it sounds like to me.
Icelandic would make sense.
Or Norwegian. Icelandic would make the most sense. Or Norwegian.
Or Norwegian. Norway, Finland,
yes.
Sweden.
I think, I don't know if Finnish sounds quite like that. Maybe it does.
Yeah, it wasn't as harsh as Russian. Everyone was guessing Russian at first, but it didn't have that. Russian's very harsh sounding, and that didn't. So
it's not Russian.
Yeah. We'll have to look that up. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Maybe feedback or let us know. But
okay, I've got money on their Icelandic. I'm not. Is that its own language, or do they speak a version of Swedish in Iceland?
I'm not sure. But still. Anyway, crazy family. So right now we're thinking Cameron is going to lean towards the good side. So that'll be interesting to see.
For sure.
Oh, and then when you were talking about when Courtney was grabbing all the stuff, she also grabbed the Green Lantern's lantern, which is so funny because Green Lantern actually carried a lantern and not a ring.
Yes.
So I thought that was so funny. They had it looked like it was smashed in. So I don't think that thing's going to actually work for her. And it makes me aware, are they really going to give a Green Lantern power, like a teenage Green Lantern on the show? I don't know. The lantern was smashed. It was not going to work. And as far as I know about the lanterns, the power source constantly needs to be recharged from whatever the cosmic source is that's out there. So unless she can get access to that, the lantern's going to be useless to her. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm very curious to see where it goes. I mean, at least I think we know where it's going next week because we know what the title. Well, I know what the title of next week's episode is.
Yeah.
Or not next week. The next episode we need to watch. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I'm used to saying next week's episode, but do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know the titles? Or?
I know what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be the first recruit.
Yeah. Well, it's called Wild.
And that's the thing. Like, so she grabs all these gadgets. Is she just going to hand them out to people and they're just going to work? That like, oh, what's this? And whoosh, I got superpowers all of a sudden. I'm curious because that's all it is for her. She grabs the staff and now she can be a superhero. But
yes and no. But I think the staff still had to choose her, right? Because you were talking about how it had to be attuned to her. So I think the staff chose her, not the other way around. That's why, when we're kind of going through all this of like, did Pat really know? Did he not know? It's just some like crazy aligning of the stars to like bring them all together so that Courtney and the staff would be close together possibly because the staff knew it needed to go to Courtney. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they end up explaining it. I definitely feel like the artifact has to choose the person and not the other way around. But I think we're going to find in this little tiny town of convenience where everybody's interconnected that they're all the pieces are going to be there. So
probably,
obviously.
Yeah.
So
it'll be
neat
neat to see.
Show, but
cool. Well, that wraps us up for the talking points. Anyway, we're not wrapping the show just yet because we got to get to our favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Shape out an eagle.
All right. So my favorite scene, and there's kind of two of them. I only got an audio clip for one of them, but the two scenes showing Icicle and his family, and how they are in their evil ways. And the first one is we talked about a lot with in the very beginning of the episode when his wife is dying and she tells him to destroy anyone who tries to stop him from making the world a better place. And then the other one is when William, aka Wizard, shows up at Icicle's house. We just talked about this. Gets killed by Icicle, and then his parents show up and they're just fine with it because they want them to continue with his plan. What? Holy cow. So these scenes with Icicle, he was the standout in this episode. I could have watched an entire 40 minutes of just showing his story.
I mean, we almost did, but yeah.
Yeah, it was he was so good. So I'm going to pull the clip from the very beginning of the episode when his wife is sharing her last words with him, because that to me is one of the best origin stories or motivation stories for a villain as to why they're going to do what they're going to do. So here's that clip.
I am gonna make the world pay for what it's done to you. I swear it.
No, Jordan. You continue your mission. Fix this country. Make it safe for our boy. Promise me.
I promise. I promise. What is it?
If anyone tries to stop you, destroy them.
Christy. Christy.
Oh, that sends chills. I got goosebumps everywhere. That whole sequence is it's even better than some of the villains we've had in movies. This is a high budget movie scale villain origin to show us. It was it's amazing. He is going to easily be one of the best bad guys we've ever had.
Yeah, it's being very well done. Like I said, I've been very pleasantly surprised by this, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's very good.
Just the music and everything as he's turning and he's mad. Oh yeah, so good, so good.
It is.
All right, let's get into yours. What was your favorite one?
All right, so I like I said, I really was digging some of these scenes with Courtney and Pat at the JSA. So I picked the part of these scenes where they talk a bit about destiny.
Hey, will you just listen to me for once? Everything in this room is dangerous, all right? This life is. A kid died today. A child. That's why we can't go on.
A kid died today. And that's exactly why we have to, Pat. This is our destiny, Pat.
You know, that's exactly what Starman said to me the night he died. Come on, we're leaving. And until I say so, no more Stargirl and Stripe. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I like the part where she, towards the beginning where she's like, no, this is exactly, why we have to go on. So I get where he's coming from, and I agree with your points that maybe she's being a little bit naive, but I also agree with the fact that he's like, no, we need to pump the brakes, but pumping the brakes isn't going to make the villains go away. So I like that she's willing to stand up to them and try to build a team to be able to do that. So that's why I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That was a good scene. I mean, she has a point, but she also has to listen to Pat too. He's got the experience. She can't just run headlong or she's going to be the next one laying on the cold slab.
Yes.
All right, let's see what our listeners have to say this week. Here is feedback time.
Twin powers, activate!
So before we dive into feedback, I want to do a couple shout outs because we've been getting a lot of chatter on our Twitter account at Tomorrow's Legends, especially from Ken from Chicago, Nobel Prize winner Todd Darren. And is that all of them, I think, lately?
That's all the ones lately. There's been a few others since we kind of started covering Stargirl, but they've been it's been mostly from them.
Yeah, and they're definitely slapping me silly with the I could not place where Stargirl was told to us that she actually is on Earth 2, and thanks to the guys I just mentioned, they kind of straightened it out for me that it was shown during the Crisis, the very, very end of the Crisis event when Oliver was telling us all the new worlds that have appeared and whatever, and there's a clear clip of Stargirl's team on Earth 2, which I could not remember for the life of me because Crisis happened long before this show ever existed, and so I did not place it at all, and now we know. So I just wanted to say thanks to those guys for all the chatter. And then what was the other? Oh yeah, and then we were talking about what year when our Legends team went back in time to see the JSA, and that was in 1942 during World War II. Mm-hmm. On our Legends show. So, thanks for that info, Ken. So everything got all straightened out. So I'm much appreciative of that. That was, good stuff. So thanks a lot for that, guys.
Yes. Thank you. Keep up the chatter. It's always fun.
Yeah. And then the one other thing was kind of funny. I think me and Todd he was thinking it'd be cool if Michael Shanks came and made an appearance on our show. And he thought Michael Shanks played Dr. Fate. And I actually remembered him being Hawkman. And then I found a picture, and definitely Michael Shanks did play Hawkman. And if you guys know Michael Shanks, he's from the Stargate TV show. And he was also in Saving Hope with Erica Durance, who was Lois Lane on Smallville. So, and that Saving Hope is a way better doctor show than your Grey's Anatomy and all those other shows. I love Saving Hope. So anyway, that's Michael Shanks. So it'd be cool if they brought him back as Hawkman in a clip or a flashback scene. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
Cool. All right, let's kick off our actual feedback with X-Force 11's third feedback.
Hello, Legends. It's X-Force 11 taking you back to the Golden Age with Stargirl, Episode 3, Icicle. The things that I liked about this episode were our view of the Justice Society of America's headquarters and the artifacts of the original JSA. Getting to really see and know the history that Pat gives behind things and how important it is to really realize the history and the sacrifices that they made to keep America safe, and realizing that so many people don't realize this. And you see Courtney looking at how can she make this continue to the future, kind of going behind Pat's back to get the things that she needs to start the society again. I also want to point out that we've seen the janitor a couple times in this series, and it's intriguing of who or what is the janitor. So I want to leave that thought in your mind so that you can be questioning it as we go forward. All right, X-Force 11 is out.
Jeff, are you brainwave? Are you reading our thoughts? Because we're talking about the janitor, and I'm wondering if you're up on episode 6. I wonder if you already know who the janitor is, if they've revealed that or not yet.
I think they have. Him and Bianca were leaving comments on our Facebook thread. That's why I wanted that. Well, I had written my note about the janitor before I saw their comments, but I saw their comments earlier today, before we were getting ready to record, and I was like, okay, I think they've definitely revealed it. I think they know who it is, and so they're just waiting for us to catch up and figure out who it is. So I was like, okay, I'll throw out a guess at the expense of being like horribly, horribly wrong. So we'll see.
I don't have a guess other than it's someone else. It's another sidekick. I don't know, but we'll see. Or it's the guy taking care of the headquarters. I don't know. Who knows?
But yeah, we'll find. I think we'll find out relatively soon.
Yeah. And I also wanted to thank Jeff too, because he was doing the Facebook posting over on the CCU for people to chat about Stargirl, and he's now transferred that over to our Legends page that people, because we are actually podcasting about it, so it should gain some traction for a lot more people to be able to talk about the show that are actually watching it and, get the podcast. So thanks for doing that, Jeff. And then for anybody that was on the CCU didn't realize that we're covering it, hopefully, maybe we should go in there and make a post or something, or maybe Jeff already did.
I think Jeff already did. That
it's being over there. So I just wanted to say thanks for doing that. He's kind of helping us out a lot behind the scenes as we work hard to catch up here. So it's much appreciated.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for continuing to post the threads since you're current and in real time and I am not. So we're doing our best to catch up. But yeah, keep posting stuff. I appreciate it.
I can't read the comments on it.
I know. That's why I don't even want to follow them. I'm like, I can't read it.
Cool. All right. Carrie's up next. What did Carrie have to say this week?
That opening scene looked eerily similar to the opening scene of Guardians of the Galaxy, with Star-Lord being there to watch his mother die. Oh, yes, It did. It really, really did. The difference is it's Icicle, not so much the son, who is traumatized the most by her death and spurred into action. Hearing Christine Mahkent, Mrs. Icicle, tell Icicle to finish his mission, fix the country, make it safe for our son, and if anyone tries to stop you, destroy them. Certainly we may have issues with his methods, but we don't question his motivations one bit.
Nope.
Not
at all.
Stray observations. I know blended homes are tough to navigate, and the show may soften up Mike, showing layers to his character, but right off the bat, he's pretty annoying. And hearing him refer to his stepmom as Barbara will always grate me.
I am so with you, Carrie. Thank you. Smack that kid.
Yeah.
He needs it.
He does. Also, Mike's eating habits are horrible. It makes me wonder if he's going to become Matter Eater Lad. I have no idea what any of that means, but his eating habits are terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Carrie, please let us know what Matter Eater Lad is. Maybe even send us a picture. I'm a little scared.
Probably some fat hero that can eat everything and anything.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
I'm assuming as much. All right. I hate to see what happened to William Zarick, the wizard, and his son, but their deaths basically say the indifferent and the innocent in the ultimate battle of good versus evil will not survive. In a way, it reinforces Courtney's push to become a hero and take a stand, even understanding the danger involved. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well said.
Listening to Icicle give his New America pitch, it's easy to see how persuasive he is.
Yes, just like I was saying.
Beyond that, if us as viewers didn't know he was evil, he and this New America project would be hailed as visionary and world-changing. That right? Even though I know who he is, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is amazing. He is very charismatic. It's a good actor. One of the better things about being in Blue Valley, Nebraska is that it's apparently so small, heroes and villains can have fights in a field in broad daylight and no one else will see it. Okay, I knew I wasn't the only one thinking that. I'll never get tired of Fat taking Courtney on trips down memory lane when it comes to the Justice Society of America. Seeing their old hangout, equipment, and pictures is always cool.
Mm-hmm.
I still love Courtney's optimism. When Pat tells her that the Injustice Society killed every member of the JSA, anyone else might say, we don't have a chance. But even having a little bit of an idea of what she's up against, she's all about forming a new JSA. She certainly doesn't mind jumping into danger. Yep. Grandma and Grandpa Icicle are pretty committed to the cause, too. I'm guessing they've gotten rid of plenty of bodies. Seeing Barbara sitting at the New America table at the end was chilling, especially juxtaposed with the Dugan family eating dinner without her.
Yep, you know what I'm getting at with that situation.
I have a pink pen myself, so I'm pretty intrigued about what that pink pen that Courtney grabbed will lead to.
Oh, so Carrie doesn't know either. Okay, we need someone to clear that up for us.
I am very confused about this pen business, so if anybody wants to clue me in without spoilers, that would be great. Or if I just need to sit tight and watch, I can do that too. All right. Overall, this episode established what motivates Icicle and the Injustice Society. Also, Courtney got her first sample of what the real life ramifications are for superheroes. Yes.
Yep.
I give this episode 7.5 fatal magic card tricks out of 10. Oh, sad face. The next step, we get superhero recruitment 101. And I'm looking forward. That was me at the end. Sorry.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Carrie. Good thoughts as always. Next up is Patty Spivot with another voicemail. Let's see what she says.
Hey, Flash and Harley, it's Lisa calling in. Just finished episode 3. Oh my goodness, it was brutal. Icicle is ruthless and horrible. I just can't imagine what happened to his wife to make him just so cold and heartless and horrible. I'm just blown away that he was about to kill Courtney, who's a child, and then he killed Joey, who's a child, and my daughter went crazy. She's so upset, and hates Icicle now. I also was thrown quite a twist with Cameron being Icicle's son. I was thinking, oh, good, Courtney has an ally. She has somebody that maybe she could be legit friends with, and oh my gosh, that is going to be a problem. And Barbara is getting in with the boss, who is Icicle, and it's just turning into a big tangled web. Oh my gosh. So, good setups and good, fun, interesting plot lines, and also awful, interesting plot lines. I really think Stargirl, though, at the end, I know she was trying to be like tenacious and brave and just passionate, but she's coming off as rash and a little childish, and I really hope that they are careful with that for her. I get that her actions are to move the story along, but yeah, they need to sort of watch what they're doing, I think, with her. Otherwise, she's going to become not the heroic character that we want her to be. So anyways, those are my thoughts really quickly. I think we're watching another one right away. So I'll leave it with you guys. Looking forward to the podcast, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Patty. Let's move on to an email from Bianca. She got one in this week. And she says, hey, Flash and Harley, just some quick notes on the third episode, Icicle. I really like the glimpse into Icicle Jordan's past. It gives him real drive as a villain, which a lot of others lack. The first meeting between Stargirl and Icicle was very interesting. I echo X-Force 11 and think he was testing her a bit. Jordan Mahkent is a very cold individual. He killed a son and his father in less than 24 hours. So cold. Are his parents in and on and okay with his villainy? His wife apparently was, since she told him, if anyone tries to stop you, destroy them. Wow. Lastly, I love seeing the JSA HQ. It was not quite what I was expecting. The banners were kind of too much, unless that's something Pat did after, so it looked more like a memorial. That's it for this episode. My rating is 8 very cold and devastating ends of the Zarick family. Yes. The JSA headquarters was too much? I got the feeling it was a memorial. I don't think it's in use or is going to be in use. I felt like it was more museum type of thing.
I agree. I got the memorial/museum feel as well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is it for our feedback. Thank you, everybody. Awesome thoughts and awesome, just ideas. And everybody is still right on board with us. So thanks for keeping up with us, guys. And again, any of you out there, Harley kind of mentioned the last episode, we know there could be some of you that are just starting Stargirl with us and you're kind of going along and maybe we're doing an episode every 2 days. It's kind of hard for you guys to keep up, but I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe you guys can let us know. We just want to catch up so we're relevant and in time with it because it just makes more sense for a TV show podcast. But thanks for being with us anyway. Maybe it's more fun just kind of ripping through it like this. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely an interesting experience for the both of us that are not used to going at a pace like this. But I mean, it's kind of fun. I think to get us catch up. I don't think I could keep up this pace with any sort of regularity. So
Oh, heck no.
Yeah, but I think since it's still on the air, let's go ahead and catch up. Some of the other things we were proposing doing was, rewatches or various versions of that. And, if we do decide, to take on, I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was one of the ones we considered. If we go back and start at the beginning, it's a lot to do. So yeah. It made more sense to start with what was actually on the air and airing that we could feasibly catch up to. So
cool.
Here we are.
All right, guys. Well, if you want to get in feedback and join these people that are doing that, this is how you do it.
If you would like to be part of the show, you can send in feedback to tomorrowslegends@gmail.com, spelled with one R. You can also reach us on Twitter at Tomorrow's Legends, also with one R. Join our Facebook page at facebook.com/groups/Tomorrow's Legends and become part of the community.
And that brings us to the end. So the other thing I was thinking is we had talked about S.H.I.E.L.D., we had talked about Tomorrow People, Land on Stargirl. The other one I thought of, which might be fun to revisit, only lasted one season, was the original Birds of Prey. Did you ever see that?
I have never seen that. Not at all.
I remember seeing a couple episodes, and it was actually pretty good. And it's the story of Barbara Gordon when she's in the wheelchair after the Joker, breaks her back, and she's got Huntress with her and one of the Canaries, and it's an all women superhero show, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, that is pretty cool. Yeah, no, I never saw it, so
cool. Well, it might be one to put on our list. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Other than that, that's all I got. We will be back in 2 more days. So it's Monday today, so Wednesday we'll be recording episode 4. Get your feedback in anytime between now and Wednesday, like 7 p.m. Eastern. I think I can probably get it by then. It'll be all right. So
cool. All right.
Cool.
Well, that sounds like a plan to me.
All right. Sounds like a plan to me. And I'm recording Mandalore tomorrow night for all you Star Wars fans.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Well, we'll talk to you guys in 2 days. This is The Flash signing off.
And this is Harley Quinn. I'm out.
Tomorrow's Legends is not affiliated with CBS, Warner Brothers, or the CW. We're a fan-made podcast for entertainment purposes only and are part of the Cybercast Network.